Hello and welcome to the Conversational AI News podcast. Today we are talking about insurance and I am joined by Amelia from SquareTrade. Amelia, welcome.
Thank you.
It's great to have you here, Amelia. Would you first give us an introduction to yourself, Amelia, and then let's come to the company.
Absolutely. Hi. It's fantastic to be here. Thanks very much for having me. My name's Amelia Lowe. I'm from SquareTrade in Europe. We protect everything from your phone to your fridge, and we are the fastest provider of insurance and extended warranty products for Europe's largest telcos and electronic retailers. I've been with SquareTrade 9 years. Before joining, my background was in consulting, e-commerce, technology-focused consumer products and services. And when I joined SquareTrade, our business was a little different. It was just one European market, ensuring one product category, which was smartphones. And now, 9 years later, we service 14 markets across Europe, 20 product categories. And over the last 9 years, I've had multiple roles across our operations team. And at the moment, I've had the privilege of building that operations team as we've grown. Today, I lead our operations team across Europe, covering everything from customer experience, customer service, supply chain, sustainability, operational compliance and risk. And at the end of the day, my responsibility is to our customers, ensuring we provide the best protection products and services possible, shown through our market-leading customer experience scores. And we do that by balancing profitability with customer experience and sustainability, and importantly, innovation. And that's where conversational AI will come in, but we will come back to that, I'm sure.
Really, really exciting. I mean, I've got to come to you and ask you just about SquareTrade and how you're using AI in just a moment. But in terms of an overview, I think that was a great overview of the business. But could you say a little bit more about how does the consumer, the end consumer, how do I experience your service? I noticed, for example, on the website, I saw Elgiganten, big brand there in the Nordics. I used to live in Denmark, so I recognize that one. How do I? Is it once I've bought, then I'm connected to you? Or just tell us about the journey a little bit.
Absolutely. So SquareTrade was founded 25 years ago, and like any good business, it's evolved over time. We've grown exponentially, especially in recent years. And we do that. We're a B2B2C business model. So as a technology company that sells our products B2B, we service our products B2C. So if you're a consumer, you might walk into one of Europe's largest retailers or consumer electronics stores, and you would buy a smartphone or a fridge or a laptop. And whilst you're purchasing that good, you're able to purchase protection alongside that, either accidental damage, theft, loss, extended warranty, etc. And you're buying a future promise. When we think about insurance, we're selling the customer a future promise. And most customers hope to never need to use that product. But for those that do, when they come to have an incident with their device, that's what we're here for. And then we service those customers directly, B2C. And because of that, we see ourselves very much as a customer-led business, delivering value to both the channel partner, but also, importantly, the end customer. And we try to lead our industry in innovation because of that.
Tell us, Amelia, how would you say SquareTrade is using AI at the moment?
So SquareTrade's the fastest growing insurance provider in this space in Europe. And we think that's largely driven by what we think of as radical customer centricity. So increasingly, we live in a competitive world. Consumer expectations and demands are growing on a daily basis. They don't want to be treated as commodities. Customers want to be seen as individuals, and they have their personal needs answered. A one-size-fits-all approach really will not cut it anymore. So, to match the pace of those growing demands, it's time to really get radical, as we call it. We call it changing the how, really to get to the root of what matters and go beyond what's expected. We deliver propositions which truly make a difference to customers, and we help them enjoy life, safe in the knowledge that we're protecting the products that they love and rely on. So to do that, we really put people at the centre of how we do that. People are at the absolute heart of SquareTrade's ethos. It's about being entrepreneurial. It's about looking to catalyse and create change. And despite being part of a large organisation, we're part of Allstate, which is one of the largest US private liability insurers. We still have that core DNA so close to the centre of how we operate at SquareTrade. We're looking at AI from a holistic perspective. You look at other industries, food in Japan, transport in the US with driverless kind of taxis, payments in Europe. I think customer experiences are evolving rapidly as new technologies are leveraged to transform that customer experience and increase personalisation and proactiveness. And the question for SquareTrade is, as you say, how and why is AI critical to our future success? I think historically there was often a trade-off between commercial business objectives and customer experience. Now, that is not a trade-off anymore. These are two things that we can strive for and obtain simultaneously. And I think our research and analysis shows that there's a host of opportunities to leverage AI across our business sector. The range of opportunities is so vast. So I think our advice always is for anyone thinking about leveraging AI is to think about really what you want as your outcomes. Be really crystal clear on the outcomes you're trying to achieve. And that will allow you to be really laser focused on and prioritize. It's critical to be laser focused and prioritize because it's really easy in this space to get distracted. But it also supports internal conversations on topics like the build versus buy, investment strategies, risk modeling, etc. This is like a complicated world where it presents an enormous amount of opportunity, but there's also complexities in the background. And so for us, adding value through innovation to deliver that sustainable, profitable growth is the high-level outcome. And when we think about that, really, we obtain that through growing great customer experiences. And there's an interesting dynamic between customer service and customer experience. Customer service is quite a transactional and a topic focused on solving a kind of immediate problem. You've got a customer in front of you. We service, as I said, customers B2C. So we've got a customer in front of us. We need to solve their problem now. The customer experience, however, is much more holistic. It's about the end-to-end customer journey and the life cycle. It's connected to our brand. It's more about a feeling, thinking about increased lifetime value. And I think personalisation at scale is really the centre of that. So proactive engagement with customers, innovation in self-service, those are the types of spaces where we're really looking to leverage AI within SquareTrade. And we've started doing that through things like chatbots. We also, as I've mentioned, operate across 14 markets in Europe. So we service customers in 12 languages. That presents its own complexities. And AI brings, again, huge opportunities when you're thinking about multilingual customer service and experiences. But we're learning all the time. We're very early on in the journey around AI. Digital maturity is growing rapidly, and AI is allowing us a real step change, I think, unlike anything we've probably ever seen since the dot-com boom, to be honest, almost 25 years ago when SquareTrade was founded.
Amelia, you mentioned chatbots there. So if you don't mind, can I jump in on that one and say, can you tell us more about your approach with conversational AI and then how you're looking to use that?
Absolutely. Yeah, I think chatbots are significantly enhancing customer service in InsurTech by elevating that end-to-end customer experience. And it's really about seamless, intelligent, and innovative journeys. They're designed to go beyond meeting that customer expectation to create those memorable and positive experiences when customers engage with a company. And as I said before, we're selling a promise. So when a customer comes to engage with SquareTrade, they're in a time of need. It's often time sensitive. We're talking about people without their smartphones. Have any of us got our smartphone more than a foot from our hands? Never, right? That it's like an umbilical cord, that invisible
Indeed.
umbilical cord. When it's broken, customers need us. And so we have to be able to provide that kind of elevated customer experience to give the customers the peace of mind when we're taking them through that claims experience and fulfilling that claim. I think AI offers a great opportunity to achieve this, leveraging traditionally insurance companies had automated data for underwriting and pricing decisions. Now with AI, they're achieving radical customer centricity by providing personalised experiences. AI-powered customer advisors. We have a chatbot called Sally. They're already supporting customers by providing them with access to round-the-clock support when they need it.
It's absolutely fascinating. I was going to ask you, by the way, how did you come up with a name, Sally? And why I'm asking is because I see NatWest, for example, they have Cora. Santander has Sandy, whereas Lloyds Bank, rather interestingly, they have Virtual Assistant. They haven't given a name, so I'm curious that you've given it a name. Would you say some more about that?
Yeah, absolutely. I think when you think about AI for me personally is very much an extension of our team. You know, as I said, we're very purposeful about how we grow our team, and I think when you're looking at AI as a technology and how we leverage that for customers, this is really about increasing our ability to build a high-performing team. And that's a large part of my role. So we want to create that human touch. Building a high-performing team is a high human touch process. But core to that are the personal values that encompass the ability to lead a human-based team. And personally, from my perspective, this is about emphasizing integrity, trust, transparency, respect. All this fosters a team culture that's inspiring and encourages that informed risk-taking. And you've got to provide the clear structure around that and the governance, and you've got to set well-defined expectations. And I found that it's possible to create environments where teams can really thrive and be at their best. And that may all sound a little bit off topic for an AI podcast, or maybe more of a kind of leadership podcast topic, but I think it's really critical to approach conversational AI the same way we would the rest of a human team, because customers are on the receiving end of it. So we have to be able to balance the AI automation with the human touch. And by providing the AI bot a name, Sally, in our case, you start to be able to bring that AI bot into the team slightly. And people, as I said, buy insurance for a promise. We're hoping that they don't need it. When they do, it's our chance to show customers why they put their trust in us. And imagine, you're in that moment of need. You want to be able to feel very much like you've got a human touch point, even if it is actually being powered by AI technology in the background.
I think your point there on the leadership aspects, I think is very, very well made, because too often I see a lot of obsession over the technology and what the technology can do. And I sometimes then see the output of that being quite technical, if you like, and the executives, those in charge of steering this, aren't necessarily looking at those critical aspects there, Amelia. So I think that's fascinating that you come at that point of view, and I think that's from my external point of view the right way too.
And I think you're absolutely right. There is a lot of technical components to it in the background as well. Of course there are. Like these technologies are highly complex. They're new. They're evolving rapidly. And there's a whole world around regulation and testing and compliance in the background. Obviously, we're a regulated industry, so that's of huge importance to us. But at the end of the day, when we approach things from a human-centered perspective, I think that always puts us on the right path. When you're talking about regulatory obligations, compliance, risks, testing, if you start with a human mindset and customers at the center of it, I think you're setting yourselves up for success. And we have a chatbot. Chatbots handle sensitive information all the time. We implement, robust cybersecurity measures, adhering to relevant legislations like GDPR in Europe. And the chatbot, of course, employs all those appropriate safeguards around data collection, so that only necessary information is gathered, and it's always used responsibly. But it's that ethical question around how do you use AI and new technologies in a responsible and ethical way. And I think for me, the right place to start for that is to be putting the real human-centered touch right at the center of it.
Amelia, just on the chatbot there, what was your attitude from a leadership standpoint on buy versus build?
I think it's a really interesting question, because a lot of companies are probably asking themselves the same question. Is it buy? Is it build? If you're going to invest, how much are you going to have to invest to be able to get the output you want? I think the reality is, to be honest, it's often going to be a case of both. We, as I said, we're a European business with a hugely entrepreneurial mindset and DNA, but we're also part of the big Allstate umbrella. So we sit underneath a very large North American business, and they invest a large amount of money in AI, partnering with one of the technology giants of our world to develop and test AI solutions. But that doesn't mean to say that we shouldn't also buy in supplementary technology, test, learn, pilot. When anything like AI is moving so fast, testing and learning and iterating is so key. And to do that using existing platforms, to do that in a way that is responsible, puts data security and customers' trust at the center of what we do, but allows us also to fast-track learning. that's ultimately better for the business and customers in the long term too. So my view, buy versus build, a bit of both, to be honest. I think the buy versus build also depends on that very specific focus area that you've narrowed down. As I said earlier, you've got to prioritize, right? So we've got to be really clear on the outcomes. We're looking at using AI across multiple topics across our customer journeys. We talked about our expansion across Europe over the last 9 years and the 14 markets and the 12 languages we now service. Translation AI is something that is could be or may become a commodity type product.
Right.
So using chatbots, using IVR with AI built into it, whilst you can start to allow agents to potentially converse with customers in languages that are not their native language, really helps to support businesses with these pan-European or multilingual needs. And I think as you grow a business as well, if you're a small business starting out and you don't have the scale yet to be able to necessarily staff contact centers to service multiple channels in a kind of economically efficient way, some of these translation bots can really help you because you can start gaining some efficiencies of scale without having the scale yet. So it's going to give some of the smaller, slightly younger, newer businesses in our space maybe a little bit of opportunity to become efficient and learn and test whilst managing that complexity of multilingual or international service.
Amelia, could you talk through any challenges you faced in your journey to adopting conversational AI?
Yeah, absolutely. I think testing is critical, and confidence is probably one of the biggest challenges we face when it comes to conversational AI. We've got customers who we need to service with integrity, and that integrity is something that needs to be built. And we focus a lot around the foundations for building that confidence. And that comes through iterative testing, learning, and ultimately, as I said earlier, conversational AI is another member of our team. But it's complex, and looking at how often a chatbot can be updated, for example. What is the feedback loop for continuous improvement? AI is evolving at such a pace that it's likely to continue to do so for the foreseeable future. The chatbot needs to be updated regularly to ensure it remains accurate, relevant, and of course effective. Updates can include improvements to its language model, integration of new data, enhancements based on user interactions and feedback. And as AI is implemented further across the business, it'll become clearer on how we're able to improve that customer experience using AI. So that feedback loop for continuous improvement is probably one of the bigger challenges that we see today. But this is evolving. The maturity of this is young. And as we progress down that maturity curve, that confidence will grow. Our confidence in the ability to have integrity at the core of it will grow. And it will increasingly feel, I think, like AI becomes another member of our team.
Amelia, would you say a little bit about how your end customers or clients are reacting to you augmenting the experience with the likes of conversational AI?
Absolutely, yeah. I mean, we have all been in that situation where you call up the customer service line. There's the kind of robot IVR in the background. It's asking you to tell it your reason for calling, and you're shouting down the phone at it because it cannot understand for the life of it what you're trying to say. We have all been there. It's frustrating. It's not what anybody wants. It doesn't produce good, seamless, frictionless customer experiences, which is what we're after. So when you get it right, we know that digital channels produce the highest customer satisfaction scores in our experience. However, the key with AI is to ensure that the testing, as I said, in terms of our challenges, is so rigorous that the confidence is high and the output can subsequently also be high. So clients love it when it works, but we've all been in the position where it doesn't work. And that is something that, from our perspective, we have to avoid.
Amelia, that's been fantastic. Thank you so much. Now, but for those who are thinking, wow, we'd love to know more about your own experiences and the company, how do they contact you?
Well, thank you so much for having me. This has been really good fun. More fun than I was expecting in a good way. But please, if anybody wants to reach out, find out more about what we're doing, get my views on any topics, then please don't hesitate to reach out on LinkedIn. you'll find me under Amelia Lowe, Vice President of Operations at SquareTrade in Europe, or visit our website, squaretrade.eu. Ewan, thank you.
Thank you so much. Thanks for taking the time, Amelia.
Pleasure.